Hey everyone, Nike here. Over the last year or so, you might have noticed a bit of a change in the direction of my channel, and I wanted to explore what my channel has become now and why, and where I want it to go in the medium and the long term. Originally, my channel was about build guides and dungeon record runs, but the community has reached a point in its evolution where I sort of feel like you don't need me to tell you what warrior build to run. I guess I should correct that. Most of you don't need me to do that. When the rest of my guild and I took up where Strife left off and did guides, there really wasn't any other source for good meta build guides. We were satisfying a genuine need that the community had. Over time, Meta Battle came out, and the need for long-winded video guides became less important. When you can get all the information you need from a single website in 2 minutes, really there's no need to watch a 20-minute long video. In my opinion, Meta Battle wasn't perfect due to the way the system was curated and some other smaller issues, so we kept making our guides since I felt that there was value in that. But over time, the guide makers in D&T either left the guild, left the game, or just lost interest in maintaining guides in the first place because there were so many other options available. Quantify has done a great job with making the information about quality builds very simple and easy to digest, and really that's the best thing for the largest part of the community, and so long as they continue to service that need, I am more than fine with us taking that step back. Of course, I do still feel like there are people who do get value from the long-form build guides. So I probably will release updated warrior guides when there are big changes, or when it's been so long that incremental changes amount to a big change from the previous guide. A lot of people have asked why I didn't do a new guide after this last balance patch, and really I did consider it, and I in fact wrote the entire script for it, but my current opinion is that Con DPS is simply too effective, and I'm very worried that ANET will nerf some aspect of it in the next balance pass. As a result, I didn't want to do a new guide only to have to redo it 2 months later. So after the next balance pass, I'll probably do a new one then, because whatever we get at that point is likely to be what we're going to have for a really long time. As far as record runs go, so here's my thoughts on that. Back in the dungeon days, a lot of guilds would get the bug to do records and then just like crush the leaderboard and take like a majority of all the records. And then we would have the meta reset and the board would be blank, and then a different guild would get the itch to do it. So one meta QT would have like 75% of the records. Then the next meta, SC, might have 75% of the records, and then another meta, D&T, had 75% of the records, and so on. I don't speak for the rest of my guild on this part, just myself. I never liked, and still don't like, doing records that are simply incremental increases on old strategies. I never wanted to do a record where we took an established strategy, improved one aspect of it, and called it a new record by being 4 seconds faster or whatever than the previous. Or worse, took an established strategy, didn't improve upon it at all, and just actually executed slightly better, or even worse than that, rolled for slightly better RNG at some stage of the dungeon, and beat the old record by 1 or 2 seconds. For a lot of guilds, they find a lot of fun in executing slightly better and refining the current strat to the bleeding edge. To me, that isn't interesting. If you look back on all the dungeon records that I took part in, it might not seem like it now with the current modern strats, but each of those records had some major innovation in tactics. Essentially, I never wanted to do a record to beat an old time by a few seconds. I wanted to do something that beat the old time by a minute or more. For me, the biggest congratulations on a record run wasn't the views or the Reddit upvotes or even the nice comments. The best was when other speed clear guilds would go, "Wow, I never thought to try that. That was a really amazing, innovative tactic." Even if other guilds took the same strat and improved upon it and beat the record time shortly thereafter, that was cool because I was more satisfied with the innovation that we did than just the time that we put on the board. Which sort of brings me to raid records, and why I'm kind of bummed out about them. Pushing times on raid bosses is either about rolling for RNG on bosses that have a strong RNG element, and or improving micro-level execution of a strategy. Neither of those two things really excite me. Personally, as far as the RNG goes, I just don't have the patience anymore. I will not reset a boss 800 times for 24 hours until I get the exact RNG I want. I just don't find that interesting or fun. And as far as the micro-level execution of an existing strategy, it's no different than Dungeons, where I wasn't a fan of improving an old tactic by playing 1% better than the people that did it the first time. So most of the raid bosses have pretty set, established strategies, and while there is room for innovation on some of them, a lot of others are just very linear and straightforward. And I think the progression of strategies for a boss like Slothashore shows that the times that people are able to do now are just significantly better than what they were before, because people have found more clever ways of attacking the fight. So in summary, simply put, I only want to do a record run if there's some new strat or tactic that no one else has even considered before. And the problem is, in raids, it just isn't easy to do stuff like that as it was in Dungeons or Fractals, which were significantly less straightforward affairs. The result of that is what I do and a lot of other guilds do is they post just like fast casual daily runs set to nice music from different POVs, and people seem to enjoy that, and I feel I do the same, and I will probably continue to do that with my channel. With all that out of the way, the big change that you've probably noticed in my channel is that I do a lot more editorial content and opinion videos. This was intentional, but not really from a cynical YouTube dollars cash grab, because really, no offense, there isn't enough dollars in Guild Wars 2 YouTube videos to even buy me a lunch. So it's definitely not my day job, and the difference between 1,000 views and 2,000 views is essentially nothing. I think that after many years of doing this and playing the game, I understand the game at what I would say is a pretty deep level, and I think that my best value is using whatever platform I've managed to build up to advocate for positive changes to the game, or at least to start discussions or debates on topics that are important but don't have clear answers. Even if I don't know what the right answer is, it's still worth having a discussion and maybe getting there. I had been pursuing this sort of thing for a while, but it really hit home with the DPS meter videos. I think the conversation from my first DPS meter video was a huge push in getting the conversation going to get approval from ANET to make them legal. Obviously, a lot of people in the community contributed to making that happen, especially the DPS meter devs working in the underground. But I think the video and the related Reddits kind of lit the match that started the fire. I mean, much more so than guides or records, I think stuff like that is the real value of my channel. Obviously, I'm a small fry on YouTube, and even really most of my most highly viewed videos don't get a ton of views. But if I can push the ball rolling on important topics at all, I think it's pretty helpful. And obviously, I'm a biased person like anyone else, and I have a direction that I'd like to see the game go, as well as directions I don't want it to go. If you don't like my point of view on these issues, that's where controversy comes from. That's fine, and personally, it's all about the discussion to me. If I make a video about something and you think I'm advocating the wrong thing, leave an intelligent comment on the video or the Reddit thread if there is one, A lot of times the majority will disagree with me, and that's great. It's way better to make a video talking about a stance that turns out to be really unpopular than for us to never have had the conversation at all, and ain't it not to know how people feel about it. So that's sort of the direction that the channel has been going and will continue to go. If I have nothing to say, I will upload my my videos as daily casual clears or whatever. If I have a topic I want to talk about, I'll use the same footage but add some editorial vlog commentary to it. And as I think as we get closer to the X-Pack and they start announcing stuff regarding the new Elite specs, there's going to be tons of stuff to talk about, and I really can't wait to talk about it with you guys. Thank you for watching, and I would definitely like to hear your thoughts in the comments below.